In this tutorial, I'll walk you through the techniques and plugins I use to create a vacation rental promo. These approaches can also be helpful for creating real estate videos, travel promos, or similar projects. For this project, I shot most of the footage using an iPhone 16 Pro, primarily with the Final Cut camera app. This app provides manual controls for shutter speed, ISO, white balance, manual focus, and supports various resolutions, frame rates, and color spaces. I was particularly testing it for its expanded frame rate and color space options. I also used the Insta360 Flow, an AI-powered gimbal with stabilization and subject tracking. A few shots were taken with the standard iPhone camera, and the final sunset scene was shot on an older iPhone 13. Before we break things down, you should watch the final version of the promo. The link to the final version is in the top right corner of the screen. I started with a 1920 by 1080 timeline set to 60 frames per second, since most of my initial footage was recorded at 59.94. As I replaced some of the original clips, I ended up with several that were recorded at 30 frames per second. To make everything match smoothly, I used Twixtor for frame rate conversion. In your project bin, right-click on each 30 frames per second clip and go to Modify, Interpret Footage. Change Use Frame Rate from File 2997 to Assume this frame rate, 59.94. Then apply Twixtor to the clip. Set the speed percentage to 50%. Why? Because 29.97 divided by 59.94 equals 0.50 or 50%. This allows Twixtor to create smooth motion using AI-assisted intermediate frames, avoiding frame duplication or dropped frames. For a few shots, I also applied Real Smart Motion Blur to enhance realism. This plugin adds motion blur based on actual pixel movement in each frame, not just overall camera movement. It's very easy to use. You just apply it and tweak the blur amount to your liking. Because I recorded most footage in HLG, hybrid log gamma, I needed to override the output color space to Rec. 709. This is an essential step when mixing HDR footage with an SDR timeline. To do this, select your sequence that needs conversion. Go to Lumetri Color and Settings. Go to Sequence and choose Rec. 709 for output color space. If you need to adjust exposure of an individual clip, you can do that here. This is in Premiere 25.23 and over. Why this matters? HLG is an HDR color space, while Rec. 709 is SDR. Without overriding, your HLG footage may appear overly bright or saturated in a Rec. 709 timeline. For one of the bedroom shots, I used two different takes with slightly different POVs and edited them together. They had noticeably different tones. To create a cohesive feel, I used Rematch Color. Here's how I did it. I applied Rematch Color to the Blue Room clip. I placed the Blue Room shot that I wanted to match on video track 3 and turned off the visibility. In the rematch settings, I selected Reference Video 3. For the transfer method, I used Estimate Color Matrix. You can just try them and see what matches best. For the match mode, I used Every Frame. This created a more consistent mood across both shots. For the sunset time-lapse shot on the iPhone 13, I noticed fluctuations in the clouds due to exposure changes during the recording. I tested both DEFlicker time-lapse and DEFlicker high-speed and preferred the results from high-speed. To do this, I applied DEFlicker high-speed to the clip. In the settings, I changed the method to Method 4, Clean Noise Method. Everything else was left at default. One more thing that I wanted to mention, while I was editing, I wanted to check the progress without necessarily rendering out the whole sequence. So to render a preview of the effects within a specific area in Premiere Pro, You can just select the clips that you want to render and hit Enter. That's the hotkey for render effects from in to out. Then we can play back those sections with the effects rendered. These plugins from REVisionFX, Twixtor, Real Smart Motion Blur, Rematch, and DEFlicker helped me overcome common challenges like frame rate inconsistencies, motion enhancement, color matching, and time-lapse stabilization. Whether you're producing a vacation rental promo, a real estate walkthrough, or a travel reel, these tools can elevate your project's quality and look.